Hello and welcome again to David Taylor, the American Motors Guy. Now, I told you in my first video that I wanted to do a video on AMO, and that actually happened today. So I'm going to post that video, but I wanted to talk a little bit about it before we do it because you don't see me on the screen. It's gentlemen that I actually hooked and got them to do it for me. That way they could answer the questions. So it's kind of an interview kind of video. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it before, and they talk about a couple of items. And our club supports AMO. So AMO supports our club. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that and show you a couple of things that I wasn't able to do when I did the interview. So one of the things that they talk about is the AMO magazine, an award-winning magazine. So I actually have my copy that just came in the mail, and it is the National Meet edition. So it's packed full of photographs and stories, cars, it's all there. The swap meet story, everything is there, so you can read it and see it. And you can get it digitally, or you can do the paper version. So with that being said, I'm going to now, I got one more thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Next month is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I already have my band. I know two ladies that are, one is a survivor and the other one is in the fight. So, with that being said, remember, we want to save all the ladies. I'm not going to say the slogan because I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but we want to let everybody know about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. So, don't forget, people, put it out there, all right? So, check out the interview that I did with 3 different people at one time. I thought it was pretty cool. I got them all hooked in, and I had them all sit down and answer questions so they can answer them for you. So check it out. Let's do it. Okay, guys, here we are in Townsend, Tennessee, and this is David Taylor, the AMC guy, and I have caught a couple of great big fish. So I nailed the president of AMO, and he's sitting here today. I have the treasurer,
membership chairman,
all right, and I have
a member of the board of directors
and the future
concourse director.
That's right. Yes, that's correct. But not this year. It's next year.
Next year. All right.
This year was Doug Gerke.
So I nailed these guys down. I wasn't going to let Al get away, so I wanted to do a video on AMO. So with these guys sitting here, I thought I would just start off with a few questions and see what kind of answers we get. So we're going to start off with question number 1. Why does AMO drop off the last day? Because when you look it up on the internet, it comes up American, Maritime, blah, 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 and you can't really figure it out. So I'm trying to get people to be able to find it a lot easier. So what do you do?
Well, I would say the best thing to do is to use the web address, amo.club, amo.club. So the name AMO has been like that since the 90s and 80s when it was first started, and it probably just matches up better with AMC as far as being 3 letters. But you can find the club at amo.club. And if you do search that, you'll go right to it.
Take you right to it.
Absolutely.
And that'll put you right on the direct web page for memberships or any swag gifts that you may have or items that you're after. Okay, that's good. So amo.club.
.club.
Okay. Question number 2. This one really kind of baffled me, so I really thought I'd share this one. AMC started in 1954. That was the merger between Nash Kelvinator and Hudson. but yet AMO only starts in 1958 through 88. That's what they cover. So why do you exclude 1954 through 1957 cars?
I'll take this one. So, actually, we don't exclude anyone. If you've got an AMC, a Rambler, a Nash, we don't exclude you from any of our events. Primarily, though, we do allow, because of the Nash Club and an agreement that was made years ago at the conception of AMO, that the Nash people would have their group and AMO would have the newer vehicles. But at any given event, we always have some of the older vehicles show up, and they're always welcome.
And we did. We had a 57 Hudson sedan, I believe, at the 2023 Nationals in Knoxville, Tennessee. So we don't exclude them. We just, they're more than welcome.
That's right.
All right. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about the clubs and stuff, but if I join a local AMO or a local AMC club, say Tennessee Valley or maybe even Carolina AMC, am I automatically a member of AMO?
No, you won't be automatically. When you join a chapter, the chapter is affiliated with AMO. So you would join your chapter, you would enjoy the benefits that the chapter, whatever that may be, just the getting together and the shows of the chapter. But if you choose to, you can join AMO. We don't make it mandatory. You can join AMO, and then there's a whole nother group of benefits that you would get from that, from being a member of AMO. But AMO provides a lot of things to the chapters. Probably the largest thing that we offer is when an event is sanctioned, we cover the insurance for that event for the chapter. Chapters are also available to make a decision on whether they want to do a convention. It's strictly on a volunteer basis whether that happens. So there's a lot of benefits involved in just being a chapter member, and then you can make those membership even farther and become an AMO member.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, what are the benefits of being an AMO member? I mean, what do you think is the number one thing?
I think we can all agree it's the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what do you mean by the people?
Well, you know, the relationships, the people I've met over the, past 15 years that I've been involved have been, life-changing. So,
second to none, really.
Second to none.
Yeah.
But, the benefit of being a member of AMO is having access to that wealth of resources, wealth of knowledge of other enthusiasts in the club, having access to resources that are on the website, being a part of national conventions, things like that. But for me, and I think we can all agree, it's the people that you meet, the relationships that you build.
Nationwide, really.
Friendship.
Cars are awesome.
It's more about friendship. Is that what you're trying to?
Yeah, we all come to the shows, and it's a car show for sure. But I'm more looking forward to seeing my friends and fellow club members when I get to the show. I want to see their car. Sure.
Some of these people we only see once a year,
right?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people get together with their husbands. We encourage to have families come, where husbands and wives come and girlfriends and what have you, their partners. We all show up, and this is a once a year meeting, and you go out to dinner. It's not all just about the car show thing, and we try to work with having our conventions so that it appeals to everybody. So it's not totally surrounded by just a car show.
Right.
Last year, your show in Tennessee, we had a baseball game, and everybody got to go to the ball game. So that would even include the kids. So we encourage the family atmosphere. We want everybody to be together and keep the friendships going.
I want to add one thing because to me it's important. And you talk about the baseball game. There were people at that game who saw the cars.
That's right.
Had no idea what AMC is.
Yeah.
I think AMO as a group of people have a unique responsibility to keep the history of American Motors moving forward.
That's right.
So passing it down from father to son, grandfather to son, to our kids, but we do have a responsibility to keep the history of AMC going.
Yeah,
and that is one, I think, overarching purpose of AMO.
Try to educate the public.
Sure.
right.
Yeah, well, it was a real shame that they had a doubleheader that night because of all the rain and everything, and we only had 3 cars make the trip inside the park. But
that was
just
cool.
those 3 was a statement in itself. It would have been nice to have a few more, but hey, we understand things happen. It's beyond our control.
Sure.
All right.
I will add one more
Hit
thing.
me.
So, for the national meets, I feel like it's more than anything like a family reunion, an annual family reunion. And we talk about the benefits of the club. We did talk about the people, but I'll tell you, the national meets and even the regional meets, sometimes you'll have people come and sell parts. Sometimes American Motors specific vendors. And places that you can't go down to the regular parts house and get parts that, are not in production anymore, whether they be new old stock or used. A lot of times when you go to an AMO national show, you'll find parts there that you wouldn't else find even online, because a lot of people don't like to go through the trouble of listing things online or shipping parts. So if you're restoring a car, not only do the people have, that are members of the club have a lot of valuable input and advice that I've never been charged for any of that from anybody, but then you might find a part there that you wouldn't have found anywhere else to be the finishing touch on a restoration. So really, we talk about people, we talk about parts and stuff, but really we could go on all day about the benefits of being a club member.
All right. Now, you hold national conventions every year. All right. Are they always held in the same place?
No, our conventions are held throughout the country, pretty much at the discretion of the chapters. So the way it's done is a chapter will usually volunteer to do a convention, and they make a proposal based on their geographic location. So just in the last 3 years, we've been out to Colorado Springs. We followed that with Detroit. This year we were in Tennessee. Next year we'll be in Virginia. So we kind of go all over. We do have an advanced schedule where we'll be looking at other areas of the country. Some of our chapters have an actual, they do it every 10 years. The St. Louis group, every 10 years, the year ending in 9, we always go to St. Louis. So it always try to get it to your part of the country if we can.
Okay, so it's random. It just depends on the schedule.
Random,
Correct.
except for 9s.
Except for 9. Random
Except for
except
9,
for 9.
yep.
Okay. Now, AMO, is it just the United States?
No, it is international. We currently have about 60 members that are outside of the U.S. and of course international members are welcome. And we've even had international members come to the convention. So.
And we did have that in
Yep.
23. We had a couple come in from,
New Zealand, was it?
no, it wasn't New Zealand, Australia.
Australia.
Okay.
Yes.
Australia.
Yes.
And Australia, AMC was big over there, wasn't it? It was
Very,
huge.
very.
Yeah,
Yep.
under the Rambler name, I think, throughout
Yes.
their whole duration.
Yes, just like in Mexico, VAM.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was a big thing. All right. My number, let's see, question number 6, I believe I have here. Does AMO sponsor the homecoming?
No. The homecoming event in Kenosha is totally on the Historical Society in Kenosha. They perform that every 3 years. It's always the last week of July, weekend of July. And we try to work our events so that we allow the members the opportunity to either hit our event before that or sometime after that, and have some time in between. So in this case, in a couple of years, we're looking at doing something in 25. Kenosha will be at the end of July. We're looking at a date somewhere in early June for that event. So, and Kenosha only does it every 3 years, so we work around that.
All right, well, I have another question that I didn't throw at you guys earlier, but I want to throw it at you now. Why wouldn't AMO try to make the convention with the Kenosha show? wouldn't that be try to draw even more people in?
So I have actually reached out to the convention director of Kenosha, and we've had some discussion. The Kenosha event is a city-sponsored event, and it's about their heritage and the history of AMC and what it meant to their town, economically and people-wise. We didn't really feel like it's something that we want to interrupt. They have their whole itinerary of how they want to run a show. They specifically don't do awards. They like to have it as it's a homecoming where everybody just comes together. As we talked before, it's all about meeting friends that you haven't seen, you know, and get together and have a real big blowout, which Kenosha obviously is.
All right. So here's one for you. Now this is to each and every one of you. What one thing about AMO would you say is the most important to you? What is the one thing that just, hey, that's my I got to do that and make sure it's taken care of. I want it to be perfect.
You can be first, then. You're the young guy.
You're the new guy.
What about my membership of AMO do I want to be perfect?
Not so much perfect, but what's the most important? The one thing that you really work hard at to make sure it's...
I don't know if reputation is the right word, but I really pride myself on my relationships with people, and people in the club.
So it's the friendship.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it be, I mean, I'm a member of a lot of like Facebook AMC groups and stuff, but I try and tie that into the AMO as much as possible. But I really enjoy not only the people, but being able to help people, especially, gosh, you know, I'm 33 now, and I joined AMO when I was in my early 20s, and I can't tell you how much I learned being in Carolina AMC and then AMO, just in those early stages and early years. And when I'm at a national meet, I always meet new people, and here lately, you know, I'm meeting a lot of people who were about the same age I was when I joined. And to me, it's really important to give a good first impression to the people that come to the shows for the first time. I think within some clubs, certainly not in American Motors, fortunately, but there can be a certain type of arrogance among people, and that's one thing that this club has never been. And I guess as being a club member, we're all ambassadors to the club, whether we know it or not. And I really take pride in not only, you know, having the duties that I have with the club now, but I really take a lot of pride in just being a member and representing the American Motors Owners Association.
That's very profound. All right, what do you say, Derek?
For me, it is, I really enjoy being a part of a group, a leadership group that is moving things forward and moving the banner of American Motors forward. It is really important to me that my kids and my grandkids, and ultimately their grandkids, know about American Motors. Mm-hmm. And so for me personally, being involved and helping with the leadership of this club move things forward is really rewarding.
Yeah, today we are having a joint show with the Hudson Group, and we have a third generation up there with the fourth generation on the way.
That's awesome.
So that is impressive. So Al, what's the most important thing to you?
So in my position as president, I kind of, it's all about people to me. The club is almost a secondary thing. It's about the people. It's about the families. I want all of that to work. So 4 years ago when I was asked to step up, I'd been a member since the early 90s, and I'd always been content with the club, but not really that involved. And I felt like at this stage of my life, you know, I can bring things to the table. So I make myself available because I know my frustrations when I was younger, You know, when I wanted to know something, I can't call anybody, or who do I call? I put myself out there because I'm retired. My phone number's available, my email's available. I think that most people who have reached out to me will say yes, they got an answer. I do reply to people with whatever the question is. There's no dumb question in my mind, but primarily I want everybody to understand that we're all a family. And as part of a family, we want to build this. I totally agree with what Derek and Ben say as far as the heritage that we have here with a company that's no longer, it's on our shoulders to promote that, to make it happen to our grandkids and stuff. When I was just out on the show field there a little while ago, there was a little guy running around. He had a Hudson hat on and a camera taking pictures. And that's what it's all about, is that he's looking at these cars because his grandpa brought him here, or maybe his parents, I don't know, but he's looking at those cars and he just thinks they're the coolest things on earth because he's taking pictures of them. And that's what we want.
Oh, he's GoProing, dude.
Yeah.
That kid's up to date. He's GoProing. All right.
I will say one more thing. Vince Geraci, who is one of American Motors' designers, and he's has a lifetime membership with AMO. Being able to meet people like him in the club and have him make an emphasis on, since, you know, just this past year, the building on Plymouth Road in Detroit was torn down. You know, so much as we go into the future, physical things are disappearing that were once representative or part of American Motors, and Vince makes it very clear, and he wants this to be his legacy in the future. But we, the people of AMO, and the people who own and drive and love American Motors vehicles of all years of manufacture,
Including Jeep.
yes, absolutely, Jeep and even Renault, we are really the voice of American Motors now and in the future. You know, it's way more than the cars. It's about the people. But like Derek said, you know, we got to keep. As long as you keep talking about something, it will never die. And as long as you keep educating people on it, it will never die. So that is really our job, as caretakers of the American Motors brand.
That's a very good answer. All right. So the next one is, it's pretty simple. What does it cost to join AMO?
Well, Dave, I'd love to tell you
Well,
that.
tell me about it, please.
I would love to. We have several different levels, but to start off, you can join AMO at a level of $25. That gives you digital access to all the member resources, magazines, everything. You step up to that, it's $40 a year. You get 5 amazing award-winning printed magazines a year. And of course you get all the digital access also. Our international members, is available for them also. I believe it's in the $50 to $55 range, but everything can be found at amo.club.
All right. The last question I have, which goes right back to you, Derek. How many members does AMO have right now?
We currently have 1,420 active members.
1,420 active members.
If we take a look at members in total, because when you join AMO, you become a member of AMO. You may be inactive, you may be active, but if we look at the total number of members since day one, we have over 14,000 members.
Whoa, that's impressive. All right, guys. Well, I think I've took enough of your time. I appreciate you doing this.
Thanks, Dave.
No problem.
And
it's been a pleasure.
is there anything else you want to throw out there before we sign off?
Oh, well, I guess.
I love you, Al.
I guess.
I love you, Ben.
I guess none of us did we mention our names? We mentioned our titles, but we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
mention our names.
Scoville.
Yeah. So.
Ben Scoville.
Yeah.
The one and only.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Derek
Yes,
DeRoe,
All right.
and I'm Al Spoden.
All right. Guys, I appreciate your time.
Thank
you so much for the information. And we will see you live on Facebook. All right.
Awesome.
And
Thank you.
YouTube. Yes, this is getting posted to both.